help people. And
Yeah.
you might want to know for the last 49 days, how many people were in there. I don't know your numbers. Maybe there was like seven, eight, you put up somebody eight, nine, 10, you put 12, you lost some, that might be, or how much you guys spent every day on food. You might have like that for the last 49 days. Uh, any, some data set. And then you want to know that the center, these are center measurements of center. The mean is great, but it is affected by outliers, what are called outliers.
Okay.
And what an outlier is like, let's use the food cost example. Let's say every day you spend like 100, 150, $120 on food. I don't know, maybe it's too much, not enough. But then you had one day where you had a banquet and you guys spent like $900 on food. That would be an outlier because it's
Oh, so that
very
would be
far
the
from.
mean.
So when you have an outlier, you typically want to use the median
Okay.
because it's not affected by outliers. Whereas the mean is affected by outliers. Like it would, in this case, it would pull your average up.
Oh, okay, okay. The median is just the number in the middle. So the median is the middle, and the mean is the outlier that affects the median
No, no, these are both measures of center.
of
These are
center.
all three measures of center.
Okay.
So again, like because we don't have a data set, like this is all theoretical and it's very hard to do as a new student in this area. Like um, the lecture should like prepare you for this type of question. And I
Um,
can do that. I can give you a lecture on this, but I don't know that you want that. I think you want us to
no, I
answer these
can look
questions.
that one up. I don't,
Okay.
that doesn't look too complicated.
Okay. So here is a new data set, kind of. It says, and this is referring back to the original question. There, we don't know the credit card. It could be MasterCard, Visa, American Express, et cetera. But we know that there are 49 of them in this data set. So like maybe it's MasterCard, Visa, American Express, MasterCard, Visa, 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 and so
Okay.
on.
Who knows?
Right?
Okay.
We don't know. But you can, I think you could see quickly here, there's no numerical values in here.
Right.
So the mode is very good when there are what's called categorical data. Okay, so these are categories. Like MasterCard is a category, Visa is a category, American Express is a category. So somewhere in your lecture, you will hear about types of data, and
Okay.
and this is one of them. Sounds like you haven't gotten there. Haven't gotten to that yet, which is okay. But the mode is the only one that makes sense, the most frequently occurring like one. Because
Okay.
what would happen is at the end you'd have a Gantt, not a Gantt chart, a histogram of MasterCard, American Express. There we go, AE for American Express. And you'd have, okay, maybe it's that one's the peak. Not as many people have American Express. A lot of people have Visa. I guess probably Visa is the bigger one, but the one that's the tallest would be the one that is the average, so to speak, the middle,
Okay.
the center.
And the reason why it wouldn't be the median or the mean is because
These don't make sense for categorical data. Mean and median are only for numerical data,
numeric. Okay.
which is not the complete definition, but that's good enough for the moment.
Okay.
Now,
Hey.
are you allowed to ask your teacher questions about these? Like, can you fire off an email and you know you think you'll get a response from them?
I'm sure I could.
Okay. So this is where, like, for the first one, like, keep in mind, like, Matthew's just giving you the information he thinks to be true. Like, there might be something in your notes or the lectures where the teacher's like, for credit card accounts, you always use the median. Like, there might be something in there. And then I'm telling you mean and median because they're both reasonable to me, but you may want to go to them and like throw that out there if in office hours, ask some questions because I I don't know what they're thinking when
Okay.
they write these questions. So
So for number three, what would make sense would be the median and the mean, right? Because there's
exactly,
it's
exactly.
numbers
Now,
involved.
now,
Uh,
but is that? But so I'm just when I look at these questions, I'm looking at like, okay, well, I'm surprised that they'd give you two questions where it's both the mean and the median, meaning to me, it's like, well, maybe this one, because there could be outliers, should be just the median. Um, and this one, because there's probably, most of the payments are about the same, regardless of how much, most people are about the same credit card payment every month. So maybe the mean makes more sense. I don't know. I really don't. These are not like straightforward, like here's the calculation and let's do it. They're qualitative questions. They're not exactly, there's only one answer type of thing.
Okay.
All right. We can go on to section 2. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All
I'm
right.
just, I'm following you.
Yeah. All right. Answer the following two questions. Discuss why does the addition of the number 20 to each data set change the mean for set A more than it does for set B? Uh, okay. Okay. Again, that's kind of written weird.
There's
Uh,
a second part to it. Do you see?
yeah. I just, I always can't believe the way they present these. So, okay, here we go. So again, you have a data set. Set A, it has 5 numbers in it. That's what n equals 5 means. There's 5 numbers. You don't know the numbers, but there's 5 of them. You know the average is 10. Okay. The average is 10. Now, compute an average. You take what's called the summation. I don't mean this isn't meant to be all mathy, but it's the summation. You can think of it as the sum of the numbers. Basically, you add them all up, and then you divide by the number of numbers. So again, kind of like the first questions, it would be really nice if you had a data set. That way you could calculate the mean and confirm that it's 10, but you don't. Now, if it helps, we could make a data set that does this. Like, let's say the data set was 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you were to add these up, you would get 50,
Can't go.
and you would divide by 5, and you would get 10. Okay. So
Okay.
but that's not the intent, but that does work here. Now, the reason this is important is because we're now adding a number to the data set. We're saying, okay, now it's got a 20. So now we're going to add 20, and instead of 5, it's +1, which means it's now 6 on the bottom. Like we've got 20 plus all these numbers. It's now 70 over 6. The top number
So
increased
how
by
did you
20.
get 50? You got 50 by multiplying 10 by 5?
That is one way that's kind of the preferred way to do it, but I'm showing you if you wanted a data set that you could do it that way. Yes, that's the preferred way.
Okay.
So the way that averages actually work is that it's the sum over n, and like you just said, n times x bar, 5 times 10 is 50. That is your sum. And so
Uh,
you're adding 20 to the sum, which is 70
70. Okay.
over 6 numbers.
Okay. Now, do you always put a +1? Now, where did the 1 come from?
You've got
The
one more
N.
number. You've got one more number. Yeah,
Oh,
your n is now equal to 6 because you have one more number.
okay. So N represents +1.
Well, n is the number of numbers in your data set.
Okay. But you're
It's how
adding one more number. So
exactly.
that's where
Yeah.
the 1 comes from. Okay. Okay. I get
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you do 70 divided by 6 was 11.67.
11.67. Yep. You there? Oh, we got cut off. Hello, Matthew.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct. 11.67 there. So,
Oh, okay, okay.
all right, let's take a look at the next one. It's
Why is it I understand it when you explain it?
well, I appreciate that. I do think because you have, you get your questions answered. You when you're in a room full of, whether it's, 30 or 100, it's just hard to get everything you want answered.
Maybe I think it's the way you explain it. You kind of simplify it.
Good deal. So this is the same. This is the exact same scenario. It's just different
Okay.
numbers. It's you can do it exactly the same. So they're saying now that there's 50 numbers. The mean
Uh-huh.
is 10. So if you do this x bar times n, which is the sum,
Uh-huh.
it's 10 times 50, which is 500.
100.
Okay.
Okay.
But now we're adding the number 20 to it,
Correct. So it's
and we
520, right?
and we had 50 numbers, but now we have one more,
Okay. So it's 51. Okay.
51, like that.
See? Okay, cool. I get it now. See?
Yes. So go ahead and calculate that. You'll notice it doesn't move that much. It's probably this last one here.
10.2
Yep.
or 20. Okay, cool. Got it.
All right.
Can I put you in my back pocket?
I'm available to help with all aspects of the course, so we'll figure that out when we get there. Let's move on to section 3. All right, so it says given the sample data X, and X just refers to this data set right here. So
Okay.
that's just a way to refer to it. Now, one of the things you typically do when you get a data set is you want to put the data set in order. So 15, 17, good to cross them out as you put them in order. 23, 25, 30,
Ready. Okay.
like that. And you'll see
Okay.
why that's important here in a moment. So let's
Well,
see here.
when you do the range, do you multiply the first two and then add the rest like that? No.
You
Or
take
like,
the max and subtract the min.
oh,
And the answer is always positive. So
okay.
these
So
are
the
these are
negative
out.
ones are gone. Okay.
Well, actually, I take that back. No, it is always positive. Sorry. So this is 30 minus 15, which is
Oh, so you subtract.
yes,
Oh, damn it. Okay, so it's 15.
that's it. Nothing more.
Oh my God.
All right. Now for the next one, this is why I was asking you, what kind of calculator are you allowed to use? Because for the next one, there is a way to do it by hand. It's just tedious and painful. So you're not allowed to use like a TI 83, 84.
He said
You're
we
not
can't if we if
okay.
I think he said we can if we want. He said you will never need any of that. A basic calculator should help you is
Yeah,
what he said.
he or she is correct, but this is like, I mean, I don't take the bus when I can drive, like it, it's like my the reason I'm bringing this up is like we could go through how to do this by hand, but it's not the best way to do it. Like it's better to use technology. So what do you want me to show you how to do it by hand? Because you may have to do that on the test. Do you want me to show you how
The
to use
only
the
thing I can
TI-83?
think of that might be allowed is whatever the drop down, and those are usually basic, aren't they? The ones that the drop down
Well, if you're
calculator.
doing it through D2L, there's no calculator in D2L. They're either gonna like scan your room and if they're using the third software, they're either gonna just
Mhm.
record you or they're gonna do the room scan. Uh, I just wanted
If
how to
you
help you
can
with this
show
one.
me, I don't know if you have time, you can show me both. I mean, I don't know
Sure. Okay.
because I
So
think I can. Go ahead.
the first thing is to find the average of these numbers. Okay. So
Okay.
we first have to find X bar, which is 23 plus 17, 40, 70. So I get 110, and then we're dividing it by 5. So 22. Does that look right to you?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do it, but hold on. Hold on.
All right, so the next thing is you build a table. You take your sample value and
Wait, yeah. Okay, then you build a table. Okay, hold
build a
on.
table here. Yeah, so I'm gonna put all the sample values in the first column here, 15, 30, and 25. And then first thing you do is you subtract
Okay, wait.
from,
I'm building my table. Hold on. Okay, build a table and then subtract.
we're gonna
Okay.
subtract each of the sample values from the mean. So the mean is 22, so it's like 23 minus 22 is 1. 17 minus 22,
Oh, okay.
like this.
Okay. 22, 17 minus 22. So we're gonna have negative numbers, right?
Well, and that'll change in the next column.
Okay. 30 minus 22, then 25 minus 22. 8. Okay.
The next thing is we're going to square these values. They will all become positives. Like 1 squared is 1, -5 squared is 25. And that's where you do only need this basic four function calculator.
Okay. Okay, got it.
All right, so the next thing is you have to add all these numbers up. 1 plus 25 plus 49 plus 64 plus 9.
Okay. 148, is that right?
Yeah, 148. So the variance formula, this is sigma squared as variance, is the sum of xi minus x bar squared. So basically all the numbers you just found, that what you just found, that sum, 148, that's
Uh-huh.
the numerator. So it's the numerator over and then 5 minus 1 on the bottom here.
And minus 1. Okay.
So basically it's 148 divided by 4, which is 37. That is the variance.
Okay.
So let's go back to our answers.
So it's the second one.
It's the second one,
Where
yeah.
did they get the 6?
So the variance is sigma squared. The square root of that number. So if you take the square root of 37, it will be
Uh,
6.08.
okay. Oh, that I don't know. You, my mom is a pet buyer. Okay. All right. Got it.
Any questions, thoughts on that?
No.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Oh. Uh oh, there's another question here. Oops. Okay. So number 8 is and it's one word difference. It's one word. See how this says sample?
Okay, where are
And
you?
then the the question 7
Oh,
says sample, and now it
variance.
says
Yeah.
population.
Population variance. Yeah.
So population variance, the only difference is that instead of it being n minus 1, it's n on the bottom. So in your problem, it was 148. Instead of it being 5 minus 1, it's
Minus
just
1 is a
5.
5.
Yeah,
Okay. So if they ask me for the population versus the sample, then I'm just going to use the regular number. I'm not going to
yes,
subtract it.
exactly.
Okay. Okay, well, that's kind of tricky.
All right, we can move on now to number 9. Number 9 here.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. The PAX world thing. Okay.
Yes.
Okie
So
dokie.
there's a lot of words at the top that are they don't you don't need
It's
to read them.
junk, I know, but
It's junk.
it's like confusing.
Yeah. So what you need to know is the mean and the standard deviation, and the mean and the standard deviation, and you're comparing the two of them. Like you want to mentally sort of like compare them. Be like, okay, Pax World's mean is higher. Pax World's standard deviation is higher.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of the takeaway from that. Now, it may or may not have anything to do with question. Actually, that's so let's do question 10 first. That will make more sense.
Question
Um,
10.
yeah,
Okay.
and then we'll come back to nine. So question 10, basically that's what we talked about just now. So which has a higher return? Which has a higher mean? Well, uh,
Pack.
Pax World has a higher mean, so it has a higher return. Okay. Now, what the standard deviation is in the world of investing is that it's more volatile. So the bigger the S number, the more volatile it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that is typically referred to as higher risk, the more volatile. So yes, Pax World has a higher return. The mean is greater, but it also comes with a higher risk.
Okay, got it. That makes sense.
Okay. Now let's go back and do question 9. Okay, Chebyshevs. Okay. The uh the way Chebyshev works is there's this formula and you probably haven't looked at it in your notes yet. There's a formula for this. You might start thinking about on the exams if you get a formula sheet. Do you have any idea if you do or don't?
Not yet.
Okay, that might be a good thing to ask because then you can start looking at it as we're doing the problems that you kind of know where all the formulas are and things like that. So
Like there's a lot of
Chebyshev's
form.
Chebyshev's formula is the interval or the percent. We'll say the percent here
How do you remember
is
all this stuff?
I don't know.
You got a
It's
good
not all
brain there, Matthew.
well, it's not useful. And I don't think about this when I'm not doing it, so just keep that in mind. Glad, like, but
That
we
thing
have
on the bottom you have.
say that again.
What is that on the bottom?
This right here,
Yeah.
that is Chebyshev's formula. So
Okay,
that's what we're
one
going.
minus, and then what is that? I can't
Sorry,
see
that's
it.
a K. That's a
Oh, it's
K.
a K. Okay,
Okay,
okay.
yeah. So this is this. So the way this works is we want a 75% interval, and we
Okay.
have to solve for K. Okay. Now, Chebyshev typically comes in a table form where they tell you these in advance. Like you don't have to solve for K. Right? So for example, if K equals 2, that's a 75% interval. And the way that works is you're putting 2 in here. 2 squared is 4, 1/4, 1 minus 1/4 is 75.75. That's where this comes from. But usually they like give you like, okay, when K is 3, it's an 89% interval and so on.
Okay.
But that's where the formula sheet could help. So basically, this K is the number of standard deviations. So we want the one that's 2 standard deviations away.
Uh-uh. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm just gonna re-snip the important information from this one. So for Pax World, let's start with Pax World.
Okay.
Imagine the mean is right in the center because it is right in the center. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 standard deviations to it. So we're going to take 9.58 and we're going to add to it 2 times 14.05. So it's again, like your teacher's right. Instructor's right. You don't need like a super fancy calculator, but it, if you're allowed to grab what you need. So this is 37.68.
Okay.
Okay. And then if we go the other direction, if we subtract 2 standard deviations, 9.58 minus 2 standard deviations, we're going to get the lower bound. So this K, the 75% converts to a K. The K value tells you how many standard deviations above and below. Think of this as
Mm-hmm.
above and this is below. We'll get that other number there. All right, so that's minus 18.52. Okay, so if you go to the answers now, let's see if any of them are the same. Yeah, we'll go to the answers here.
Okay, so okay, hold on. So you have to do a negative and then you have to do a positive, right? You have to have
Yes,
a negative side and a positive side. And in the middle is a 9.58. Okay.
right.
All right. So we're multiplying, like, okay, so on the positive side, we're multiplying it by the 14.05, right? Is that how
Times
you
two.
got
Then
37.8?
then I'm
Okay.
adding to it the 9.58. Yeah,
Or you're adding the 9.58 to it. Okay.
yeah.
And
After
then
you multiply.
okay. And then we're subtracting it. Okay. So it's the two sides, the negative and the positive.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
All right. So now when you look at the answers, you see for Pax World that leaves you, that means it's either the second or the fourth. They both minus 18.52 to
Yeah.
37.68. So now we got to do the Vanguard.
Okay.
So we're gonna do the same thing for Vanguard.
Okay. So we're gonna put 9.02 in the middle, right?
Exactly.
And then 9.02 on both ends,
So you're gonna add two
add,
times the standard deviation.
which is 12.50, and then negative, okay, 2, and then 12.50. Okay. Okay. 25 plus 9.02, 3402. Okay, cool.
So once you get those two results, you then go back to the answers, and it looks like it is
Second one.
letter B.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to turn it in.
Okay,
We're good?
I think you're good.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. Let's see. 10 out of 10. I better get it. Let's see. Oh, we missed something. We got a 21 out of 25. We got an 84.
So like I said, probably is. I don't know if you get to redo it, but I mean,
I can redo it. Should we?
okay,
It's gonna give me what I missed. It's not gonna make me redo the
right.
whole thing.
So it's not timed, so you can actually. I know there's a timer, but I believe I saw that it's not timed. You can always close it out and come back to it. Um,
Should I close it out? Okay, let me close it out. Okay, let's see. No, no, no. God. Oh, sorry. Azzy, can you enlarge the screen? Because I can't get to where I need to get to. I'm sorry, I'm on Yazzy's computer. Hold on 1 second.
no problem.
We need to get back to the quiz again. There we are. Okay. Okay, so I get one more shot. Okay. Oh, why won't it let me? That's kind of stupid. You have to wait 24 hours or something. Mm-hmm. Ah, okay. All right, you ready?
Sure. Uh, do you
Let's.
sometimes it just tells you which one is incorrect. If you want to
Yeah,
try
it's
that.
gonna tell me. I think it's number 2, section. Oh, here we go. Can you see it?
I'm not. You're not sharing right now, but you can just tell me which question it is if that's easier.
Okay,
Which one?
it's section 1,
Okay.
question
Which one?
1,
Okay. That
question.
and that's and then what's the other one? Question three.
Question 3.
Yeah, so that's what I was mentioning. Like it maybe sending an email off because I don't
And that's
know
section 4
why.
too.
Okay, so rather than the section, give me the question number
Question. Oh shit, I can't tell. Hold on. Question 3, and
on
then it
on
just says section 4.
on the left. It'll show
Wait,
you which ones are
hold on.
locked and which ones are unlocked.
So stupid. Okay, yeah, one in 3.
Just one
There's
and
a
three.
yeah, there's a red
Yeah,
thing.
so again, that's where it's like, I don't know what to tell you. I guess if you really didn't want to send an email, if you wanted like Matthew's best guess, I would say that it's probably just the median on the balance because there's probably outliers on it. So it's just the median
Okay, how
only.
do I don't know, it disappeared. Hold on, Matt. The
Sure.
screen disappeared. Right? There it is. Okay, that's Matt. Where's my page?
Stop. What else are you looking for?
My yeah, that one. How do I here, let me pull it out. Okay. Alrighty. So it looks like we had picked I think we picked median and mean, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So what do you think?
So if you're asking me, it would be just the median for number one
Median? Okay, we're
because
gonna do
there
that.
is probably a lot of there's probably at least one outlier in this.
Okay. And then what was question 3? Oh, that one.
For three, it would probably just the mean because the and it goes back to what we were talking about the other. This one's probably more normally distributed, whereas the balance, it's probably fairly negative or left skewed. There's well, actually probably yeah, it's probably more people with higher balances. I don't know. Maybe it's the other way around.
Okay. So go for the mean, you think?
Yeah. Um,
All right. You know what? And I'll go back and look at those videos for the mean, median, mode and see.
okay.
Um, honestly, I don't even think he had anything on that. Maybe he just assumes that you know it. I don't know.
It's possible, but I mean, they should cover it in this class. I mean,
Because honestly, I skipped over a lot of stuff because it was like, oh,
hey, like most students, you just get what you need, move on. So,
I shouldn't tell on myself.
we've got some time left. Is there something else you'd like to cover today? We got 6 7
No,
minutes
I
left
mean
here.
that's it because I don't want to jump ahead and then confuse myself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back over and then go over the stuff that we went over, and I'm gonna go back and listen to that section. That way I can like cement it in my brain. That way I'll understand it before I move on to the next section.